Imagine waking up on a rainy Tuesday morning in London, making yourself a cup of coffee, and knowing that while you slept, your stock portfolio sent you another paycheck. No alarm clocks, no packed tube trains, and no boss demanding your time. This is the dream of financial independence that thousands of people across the United Kingdom are chasing right now. But is it actually achievable? Or is it just a fantasy sold by financial gurus on social media? Today we are going to look at the cold, hard mathematics of living off dividends in Great Britain, completely tax-free, forever. Let us start with the core reality. The United Kingdom has a massive cost of living problem. Rents are soaring, energy bills are unpredictable, and the price of ordinary groceries seems to rise every single week. If you are relying solely on the state pension, the numbers simply do not add up. To understand what is actually required to survive, we use the official Retirement Living Standards published by the Pensions and Lifetime Savings Association. According to their research, a single person needs at least £13,400 a year just to cover basic needs at a minimum level. This means no car, very limited eating out, and taking only a cheap holiday inside the country. If you want a moderate lifestyle, which gives you more financial security, the ability to run a small used car and a 2-week holiday in Europe, you need £31,700 a year. And if you are chasing a comfortable lifestyle with full financial freedom, regular meals at nice restaurants, and the ability to replace your car and upgrade your electronics without stress, you are looking at £43,900 a year as a single person, or £60,600 for a couple. Remember, these figures are after tax and assume you have completely paid off your mortgage and do not pay rent. If you are still renting, or if you live in London, you need to add thousands of pounds more to these targets. Now, the good news is you do not have to fund this entire amount from your investments alone once you reach retirement age. The British state pension is highly valuable, and, thanks to the triple lock system, it is guaranteed to rise every year by the highest of wage growth, inflation, or 2.5%. In 2026, the full new state pension has risen by 4.8% to £241.30 a week, which works out to £12,548 a year. For a couple where both partners have a full national insurance record, that is a combined guaranteed income of £25,096 every single year. This completely covers the minimum retirement standard for a couple and leaves a small surplus. But what if you want to retire early, before you can claim the state pension? Or what if you want to bridge the gap to a comfortable lifestyle? This is where your dividend portfolio has to do the heavy lifting. To understand how much capital you need, we have to look at the real-world yields of the British stock market. In 2026, the flagship FTSE 100 index broke through the 10,000-point barrier for the first time in history. Because share prices have risen, the average dividend yield has compressed slightly, but it still sits at a solid 3.4%. If you want to build a safer, highly diversified portfolio using a low-cost exchange-traded fund like the Vanguard FTSE 100, you are looking at a dividend yield of around 3.01%. On the other hand, if you tilt your portfolio toward mid-cap stocks in the FTSE 250, you can get a higher average yield of around 3.6%. And if you choose a specialized high-yield exchange-traded fund, or build a portfolio of individual dividend aristocrats that have raised their payouts for consecutive years, you can realistically target a yield of around 5.5%. Let us run the math for both a conservative 3.4% index yield and a targeted 5.5% high-yield strategy. Let us look at the first scenario. You want to retire early and cannot access the state pension yet. To achieve a comfortable lifestyle of £43,900 a year as a single person with an index portfolio yielding 3.4%, you need exactly
£291,176 invested. If you use a targeted high-yield strategy at 5.5%, that target capital drops to £798,182.
For a couple aiming for £60,600, an index portfolio requires £1,782,353, while a high-yield portfolio requires £1,101,818. These are massive numbers, but they show the raw cost of absolute freedom before retirement age. Now let us look at the second scenario, where you have reached state pension age and are receiving your £12,548 a year. The pressure on your portfolio drops dramatically. As a single person, you only need your dividend portfolio to bridge a gap of £31,352 to live a comfortable life. At a 3.4% yield, you need £922,118. At 5.5% yield, that target falls to £570,036.
For a couple, the required dividend gap is £35,504, meaning you need £1,044,235 at 3.4%, or £645,527 at 5.5%. These targets are far more achievable for the average saver.
But here is the massive catch that ruins most financial plans in the United Kingdom. Tax. If you hold these investments inside an ordinary, taxable brokerage account, the tax office, known as Revenue and Customs, is going to take a massive bite out of your passive income. Unlike Australia, where investors receive franking credits to prevent double taxation, the United Kingdom taxes you twice. The company pays corporation tax, and then you pay income tax on the dividends. To make matters worse, the government has aggressively tightened the screws. The tax-free dividend allowance is frozen at a tiny £500 a year. Any dividend income above that limit is taxed at your marginal rate, and from April 2026, those rates have gone up by 2 percentage points. Basic rate taxpayers now pay 10.75% on dividends. Higher rate taxpayers pay 35.75%, and additional rate taxpayers pay 39.35%. Let us look at what this tax friction actually does to your portfolio. If you are a single person trying to generate £43,900 of clean, spendable cash from a taxable account, you actually have to generate £47,613 in gross dividends to cover your tax bill. At a 3.4% yield, this tax drag forces you to save an extra £109,219 of capital just to pay the tax office. For a couple earning £60,600, if the assets are held in one person's name, they get pushed into the higher tax bracket of 35.75%. They have to generate £72,572 gross, which requires an extra £352,118 in starting capital. This is a massive tax penalty that can delay your retirement by years. Fortunately, there are two powerful legal shelters in the United Kingdom that shield your dividends from this tax trap. The first is the Stocks and Shares Individual Savings Account, commonly called an ISA. Inside an ISA, every single penny of dividend income and capital gains is completely tax-free and legally invisible to the tax office. For the 2026 tax year, you can contribute up to £20,000 per person into an ISA. And the best part is that you can withdraw this money whenever you want, making it the perfect tool for early retirement. However, you need to plan ahead. From April 2027, the rules are changing for anyone under 65 years old. The maximum you can put into a cash ISA will be restricted to £12,000, meaning you must direct at least £8,000 of your annual allowance into a stocks and shares ISA if you want to maximize the full 20,000 limit. The second shelter is the Self-Invested Personal Pension, or SIPP. A SIPP is an incredibly powerful compounding machine because the government gives you tax relief on your contributions. For every £80 you pay in, the government automatically adds £20, turning it into £100 instantly. If you are a higher rate taxpayer, you can claim back even more through your tax return. Inside a SIPP, your investments grow completely tax-free. The catch is that your capital is locked away until your preservation age, which is currently 57. When you finally access it, 25% can be taken as a tax-free lump sum, up to a limit of £268,275, while the rest is taxed as ordinary income. The smartest strategy is to build both. Use your SIPP as a long-term, tax-efficient retirement shelter and build a parallel ISA portfolio to fund the early retirement years before you can touch your pension. But what if saving close to £1 million feels completely impossible in today's economy? There is a shortcut that thousands of British retirees are quietly using. It is called geographic arbitrage. By taking your tax-free SIPP and ISA income and moving to a country with a much lower cost of living, you can retire years earlier with a fraction of the capital. In countries like Portugal, Spain, Greece, or Thailand, a British couple can live an incredibly comfortable lifestyle on £20,000 a year. If you apply the standard 4% rule of safe withdrawal, you only need a portfolio of £500,000 to retire in Southern Europe, or £450,000 to live a luxury life in Southeast Asia. Countries like Italy even offer a special, flat 7% tax rate for foreign retirees who settle in small southern towns. While you have to plan for health insurance and currency fluctuations, the mathematical shortcut to freedom is undeniable. The key to hitting these targets is consistency and letting the compound interest snowball do the heavy lifting. If you are still in the wealth-building phase, you should never spend your dividends. Instead, activate a dividend reinvestment plan. When your shares pay dividends, that cash is automatically used to buy more shares, which then produce even more dividends. It is a self-funding machine. And do not make the classic rookie mistake of chasing the highest yields. If you see a stock on the London Stock Exchange offering an attractive 12% dividend, it is almost always a trap. The business is likely in trouble, and a dividend cut is right around the corner. The safest way to build this is to focus on boring, steady companies with deep economic moats, or to use diversified, high-yield exchange-traded funds that hold hundreds of dividend-paying companies in a single basket. Let us bring it all together. To live off dividends forever in the United Kingdom, you are realistically looking at between £570,000 and £1,780,000 invested, depending on your age, your lifestyle, and whether you use tax shelters. You can hit this by investing consistently into quality British dividend stocks and exchange-traded funds, maximizing your ISA and SIPP contributions to legally bypass the 2026 dividend tax hikes, avoiding tempting yield traps, and letting the compound interest snowball do its work over time. The wealthiest retirees do not make excuses. They learn the tax rules and use them on purpose, year after year, decade after decade. If this video helped you see your money in a new light, do me a favor and smash that like button to help other people find this content. If you want to take control of your financial future, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and check out our other videos. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.